And competitiveness in music is stupid. It's stupid because you can go out and buy anybody's record and buy the other person's record at the same time. You don't not buy another record because another record is out. Ain't nobody running out of money. You just don't like these other motherfuckers. That's why you didn't buy it. So the theory of my record dropping on the same day as 50 Cent, it doesn't mean I won't sell. If my record is just as good, it's gonna sell.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
Zulus. And it's really just a shout out. It's not like they're exchanging money. They're just saying we're all on the same team. So I was really intrigued with that, where it was like a union of rappers that all said we under the same umbrella. We cool. And I saw that as power. So I went to LA, but like you were saying as far as culturally, LA is a little bit too street for the term Zulu. That is culturally not gonna work in LA. LA got a gang culture. So I studied Lucky Luciano, who created a thing called the Commission, which was a group of the 5 families, the mob families. And they made a decision to say, hey, look, we all gangsters, but before we fight, we are willing to sit down. The bosses of each family agreed to a sit down. And that way, we can stop a lot of these gang wars. And there were certain rules, like you can't take off a boss, you have to have permission, and all these different rules. I was like, if they were able to do this, and these are all gangsters and killers, I can do this with rap. So I took part Zulu Nation, part Commission, and I created this thing called the Rhyme Syndicate in Los Angeles, which had everybody from Cypress Hill to Dub C and all these different people. Anybody that wasn't in NWA, or part of the NWA family, meaning Cube, and all Snoop and on them were syndicate members. There were groups on top of groups. So the rule is, I'm not in charge of nothing. Like Kenny's not in charge of anything in the hip hop fraternity. All the groups or subdivisions are all have their own bosses, but there's only one agreement. Before we fight, we talk, right? And we talk to the bosses. That's it. Now, Kenny said, well, I want to do something hip-hop fraternity. I said, well, this is basically the way you set it up. You don't try to be the boss. You don't try to control. You're the founder, but my brother from Nigeria, Kenny doesn't have any pull over him. He just says, this is what we wish. And it's up to him to bring it to his team. Also, hip-hop fraternity doesn't make any money at this moment. I said, that's the best time to build a unit of people when there's no money. Because when the money comes in, that's when the division comes in.
That's real.
That's when everybody. So right now, this thing really just operates in a way to help each other. That's all it is. It's like a bunch of rap groups that are trying to share producers till somebody breaks. In the actual hip hop fraternity, I told them just a minute ago, what they need is a hit.
That's real.
They need to start. But here's the question. When that group hits, will they rep the hip hop fraternity?
Exactly.
Or will they branch off and say, fuck y'all? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the question. Will they be loyal? When I broke from Syndicate, I was loyal and I got Everlast a record deal. I got Donald D a record deal. I got Divine Styler. Whether those groups were big or hit, or Lord Finesse, I signed Lord Finesse. So all those groups I was able to help. So the question is, as the hip hop fraternity starts to morph and gain power, how that power is shared amongst the units. Because any one of the units of the hip hop fraternity can hit. Something can happen. The Texas chapter could say, hey, we have this opportunity to build this or that. That doesn't affect everybody, but it still reps the name, and the name moves up.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So it's a question of, it's still an experiment. Will loyalty remain once the money does come?
That's the big question, because I've interviewed a lot of people, and that's the thing that most of these guys with the record labels, the new people, the new guys are saying, you don't know nobody until they get money.
They get money.
Once they get the money, as you was just talking about, that's where hey, what's going to happen at this point?
But here's something: the hip hop fraternity is not a record label. It's not even a management organization. It's just a group of friends that have all trying to, and my whole thing was, why compete? We all going in the same direction.
Bam.
And competitiveness in music is stupid. It's stupid because you can go out and buy anybody's record and buy the other person's record at the same time. You don't not buy another record because another record is out. Ain't nobody running out of money. You just don't like these other motherfuckers. That's why you didn't buy it. So the theory of my record dropping on the same day as 50 Cent, it doesn't mean I won't sell. If my record is just as good, it's gonna sell. So the competitiveness is something that's really petty. It's stupid. It's not even necessary because everybody can eat in this business, but you got to have a hit record. So I think as the hip hop fraternity merges into other levels, I think the real next move is hip hop fraternity DJs. Wow. Where Vado says to where now you start to control what people hear. You got a lot of artists, but now how many DJs can you place in the clubs? To where you guys now have a little bit of power to where you actually can control what's being heard. Wow. Radio is harder, but the clubs, you can pretty much get a hip hop controller or infect him with some of the people from your clique.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk
into an anti-gang when they say you come in peace or leave in pieces. We gonna be serious. And you hear groups like Tribe Called Quest. A lot of groups, were a part of the Zulu Nation, the Jungle Brothers, of course, Soul Sonic Force, but a lot of the Bronx rappers part of the Zulus. And it's really just a shout out. It's not like they're exchanging money. They're just saying we're all on the same team. So I was really intrigued with that, where it was like a union of rappers that all say we under the same umbrella, we cool. And I saw that as power. So I went to LA, but like you were saying, as far as culturally, LA is a little bit too street for the term Zulu. That is culturally not gonna work in LA. LA got a gang culture. So I studied Lucky Luciano, who created a thing called the Commission, which was a group of the 5 families, the mob family. And they made a decision to say, hey, look, we all gangsters, but before we fight, we are willing to sit down. The bosses of each family agree to a sit down. The thing I found out, I've been all around the world and stuff like that. It's not even the theory of race. It's more really separated by culture.
That's big.
It's more separated by culture because race is just black, right? But she's Jamaican. She has a whole nother different background than we. You're from the South.
That's right.
It's a different background in the city. So cultural differences really separate us more than skin differences.
That's real.
Exactly. So you can't just look at a white person and say, oh, this is a white person. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know how poor they were. You don't know all the different things they've been through. Just like you can't look at black people. So now I have to go to understand a Jamaican woman. I have to go live in the Jamaican culture.
That's
and
real.
That's the food. That's if I'm a Muslim, I have to pray. Different cultures.
Do it different.
Cultures are harder to accept in color, and then Quincy Jones taught me anything you don't understand becomes stupid. That's how humans are. Jamaica, I don't understand it, so it's stupid.
Correct.
That's the ignorance.
That's ignorance. Like he said, an accordion is a stupid instrument unless you can play it. Then it's something special, see? So we tend to just throw things that we don't understand the culture. So what I've done by me traveling is I'm like, I understand you from a different
culture. I get it.
You don't understand how we do Thanksgiving.
That's
my
real.
wife's white, so I'm over there in their world. I see how they operate. It's not much different, but it's different. It's not much. It's just different. Black people come over. My daughter comes over. But now you got the mixture of the culture.
That's right.
Everybody's like, oh, I get this. I like this. I understand this. Oh, y'all do this.
And that's hip hop.
And that's what hip hop is. Hip hop mixed the culture up. It's a big gumbo now. So I'm hearing what the South is like. I'm hearing and all that. There's separatism in hip hop. Oh, we don't like the South, or we don't like this, or y'all this.
Definitely, listen. That's a big deal with me.
And that ain't even racism.
No, it's not at all racism. That's just different dialect, different culture.
Culturalism.
Just the thing that you explained. That's right.
It's culturalism.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk